right, so I watched a movie called The Astronaut, starring Kate Mara. This also has Laurence Fishburne and Gabriel Luna, which, it's got a damn good cast in it. So I was like, all right, it had pretty bad ratings, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to give this a shot. So I threw it on, and I was actually quite enjoying it. And people were like, yeah, the setup's good, and then they botched the ending. And while I agree that they botched the ending, um, I think it's mostly because it's not really earned throughout, and the execution of it is poor, right? For a few different reasons. But um, this is not a recommendation, but I definitely don't think that it is a giant waste of time. I just think that had this been thought out better and had better execution, this could have been really good. This is actually more of a frustrating watch than anything, where I'm seeing all of the pieces and saying, man, had they been assembled better, I feel like this could be a damn good film. So yeah, this was more of a missed opportunity, which those are always frustrating to watch, right? Where you're watching it and it's like it has good actors, it's got good production to it, it looks good, the performances are all pretty damn solid. The story itself in conceptually is good, right? Like, now the setup here, which I haven't talked about, essentially there is a woman astronaut who goes to space. She comes back and she is trying to hide the fact that she's having certain symptoms because she wants to return to space, and NASA and whatnot are keeping a close eye on her. And she is talking to a friend, and is like, you know, if I tell them what's going on, and she even agrees. She's like, yeah, if you are completely transparent with them, they'll probably never let you back to space. So you need to hide some of your stuff. So she's playing her symptoms like very close to the vest, and giving out the only information she thinks that's relevant. But of course, she's trying to save her ass so she can ultimately get back to where she wants to be, which is in space. Gabriel Luna plays her ex or her husband. I think they're still together. I honestly couldn't really tell what was going on there. Essentially, she left and they were having problems. They have an adopted daughter together, and you know, she seems to be more obsessed with space than her family, but she does still love her family. And there's this conflict between them. Laurence Fishburne plays her father, and he's part of the team that's taking care of her, and she is locked up in this kind of like NASA space house, like not space house, recovery home, just her by herself, kind of out in the middle of nowhere, as she is kind of distanced from the world, and she needs to be alone. She's kind of quarantined, and the doctors are coming to check on her and whatnot. Yeah, as I said, I think there's a good film here, right? It's just not executed well. So when the ending comes and you're kind of like, oh no, like this could have worked. This could be good. But there's just such a lack of like not only just like execution, but like putting the pieces in place, right? Like they're there. This is why I'm saying this is a very frustrating movie, because while I was watching it and I was paying attention to little clues and I was piecing things together, and I was like, okay, I think this is where this is going to head, and I was right, and it all made perfect sense. And I think that people might think that the ending comes out of left field. It doesn't. It doesn't really, if you're paying attention to the movie, but it's all in its execution. You can do this exact same film with all of the exact same pieces and the ending, but with better execution, and you'd have a good movie. It's just there's something missing here. And the ending, there's style choices and CGI and stuff like that hurts it for sure. And it makes it seem silly and hokey when the film otherwise felt like a pretty solid production. The ending feels like the ending of some so like hokey B movie. but it's supposed to have like a very emotional impact, and it could have worked. It could be there. It just isn't, and that was a shame because I as I said, like I think all of what we got, when I think about it as a concept, I'm like, okay, that all I like that actually. It reminds me a lot of an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode, which they did that in 20 something minutes, and it actually felt uh, more put together than this one. This one felt kind of rushed and thrown together. I feel like the last act really hurt this film because the setup is good. It is. And the ending makes sense. It's just its execution. So the execution needed to be much better, and they needed to earn that ending throughout. There's just more things that needed to happen leading up to that ending, and then when the reveal happens, it should be more impactful, even though I kind of saw that it was coming. And then the execution on that is crucial. And it ends up feeling like kind of a cheesy B movie in the end. And you're like, ooh, man, they need to invest a little bit more money into this. And also, they could have either done that or they could have done things a little bit more vague. Although that would have pissed people off. I feel like there's a little bit of an exposition dump too quick, and it feels forced, and it feels like silly. And it's like I would have been fine with this being more vague, but it was trying to appeal to a mass audience by holding their hand and explaining everything in the end. And then that just made it feel silly and rushed, right? And kind of dumbed down. I would have been much more fine with something more ambiguous. That's more my style of how to handle this. But if you are trying to make it more easily digestible and understandable by a mass audience, this isn't the way to do it. You have to lay the groundwork and put the pieces there better than how it is laid out here. I figured it out, but it's probably because I've seen stories like this multiple times, so the ending is not a surprise. It's kind of like, yeah, I figured this is where this was going. But yeah, this is as I said, a frustrating watch because I think it works in concept, but just not in execution. So it's not a recommendation. It's a shame of a film, and yeah, as I said, like this is no original concept, right? The astronaut that comes home and is different, right? The Incredible Melting Man, the astronaut's wife with Johnny Depp and Charlize Theron, right? This is not a news story, but the episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? But this would give it away. So if you don't want to know what the ending is, this is 100% pretty much the same fucking thing. This is almost identically the same thing here. Is the tale of the 13th floor, I think, where the kids go upstairs and there's like a toy factory or something upstairs. Anyway, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about, and you'll know what the ending of this movie is. That's that. So let me know if you watch it, and I'll see you in the comments. Adios.